Hello, everybody. My name is Anand and I am from India. I live in a city named Varanasi. In my community is a belief that if you live last in our city, God will not evaluate your sins and you will directly attain nirvana. As you can understand, I come from a Hindu conservative family. I am one of three siblings. The elder is loved by my father. The younger is my mother's dear, and I have always dwindled between them. It was such that I was sent to a hostel just in second standard, and I have stayed my entire education life away from home in the hostel. I have completed my high school from Bangalore and my graduation from the city called Mumbai. Post my graduation, I moved back home and joined the family business. I am the third generation into this business. Our business is a 70-year-old paper distribution business. Just before lockdown, I was so lucky to have a grand wedding and got married in the month of November in 2019. And this lockdown was an amazing opportunity to spend time with my fine wife, getting to know her, fighting with her, and enjoying time with her. Sadly, we could not get any vacation in the best days of our life. Stuttering for me was a painful experience in the past. At home, I was denied ice creams. I was denied cold soft drinks, saying that cold would choke my speech organ and I would stutter. As I grew up, I was told my grandfather had a slight stutter. My father has a slight stutter. And I am of the three siblings who picked up the genes, and I will continue to stutter throughout my life. In school days, it was very painful. My friends would tease me, they would call me various names just because I could not communicate and I faced problems. I vividly recall it was once an evening classroom. About 15 of our friends were in a small, low lit room. Each had an independent wooden bench for himself. Walked in our mathematics professor. She wrote a problem on the green board. Then she turned towards the class and asked for someone to come up and solve it. I raised my hand. She said, Anand, I know you can do it. Give others the chance. I was happy. She called others, they tried, but none could solve it. Then she asked me, okay, Anand, you give it a try. I went up, and as a printer, I printed the solution step by step, having already solved it in my mind. I felt good. Then she asked me to explain to the class. I turned around and started explaining. When suddenly I faced a block. I pushed harder, and I could only stutter. I stopped as I was trying to start again. My friend Harish, a tiny lanky fellow, had a beard and a mustache, repeated the sentence I had just spoken with the same stutter. I was offended. I lashed at him and I repeated my own same sentence with the same block and the same stutter, this time deliberately, in order to tell him that, look, I have a control over my stutter. And something horrible happened. My entire class started laughing. Even my mathematics professor. I was perplexed, confused. What happened? Were they laughing because I could do it again controllably? Or they thought I again stuttered? Or what was the reason I could not make out? But that day I had a realization that the world values more if you cannot speak better than even your ability to solve the mathematics problem. As days went on, I kept stuttering. Once I was asked to participate in a poetry competition. I said I will do it. The teacher then gave me a poetry and told me, go stand under that lamppost and read out aloud. And I want to hearing you reading out aloud. At night, under the lamppost, with mosquitoes biting me everywhere, I took up the page and I read out aloud again and again and again. She calmly walked across the corridor as I kept reading and reading. To my amazement, I won that poetry competition. And that gave me a realization. If I speak out loud, I can speak clearly. So I scouted for opportunities to speak out loud. In my graduation, I joined Toastmasters, as Toastmasters was supposed to be public speaking, and public speaking will want me to speak louder, and thus I will get killed. I went there. For about 2 years in the city of Mumbai, I traveled to attend every meeting, may it be at our designated venue or at some corporate office. But in that 2 years, I never gave my own speech. I never prepared and presented myself. In one of the competitions, I was able to win a position just because the person below me was disqualified. After graduation, I came back home and joined my family office. I was trying to learn at office, so I would ask questions. Some may not be smart questions, but I could not clarify myself as I was not speaking enough. As when I spoke, I would have a long block, and people immediately would make an opinion. Suddenly, the word went around that Anand is incompetent in business. The word became so stronger that my own father started the belief that I am incapable. And for 7 years, I feel the brunt of a father keep daunting upon me my inability to work in business. I attended a couple of business improvement programs where my peer groups had appreciated my ability to learn and understand business. But my own father, at my own office, felt as if I was a throwaway trash. It drastically killed my self esteem. I felt so pained. I felt so much agony, but I could not do anything. I could not just do anything about it. I tried several speech therapies. Some said, speak slow. Some said, speak soft. Some said, don't speak. Some said, live with it. Some said, you cannot breathe properly. I learned breathe in and breathe in a different way. I even listened to hypnotic videos for hours at length. It helped, but it was only a short lived when I would relapse again. I felt so much pain in myself that I decided I'll stop communicating. I stopped expressing myself and I stopped feeling my own emotions. I would not understand if I'm feeling happy, if I'm not feeling happy. And slowly I stopped understanding people's emotions. I could not read that if the other person was feeling something. I was emptyless. I became emotionally dumb. And came one day. when, like a rising sun, I had to travel 12 hours in a day journey amid my lockdown to get my wife back home. I plugged in Lee's audiobook from Audible, and then the magic happened. Lee started putting in, like a magician. He would understand the different concepts I had learned throughout my life, and he started putting them together, binding together like a tailor who stitches clothes. And he made the entire thing like a clear mirror in front of me, completely saying out to me that Anand, look, this one, two, three punch is so holistic that you will now beat the stutter. For everything I had learned just started making sense. It became so clear. I signed up for Lee's program. I committed myself every day. In the morning, I would get up early, not to disturb my family members, not to even disturb my new wife, and probably in skeptical if I will benefit. I started watching one video and then following time by reading aloud Lee's book for an hour every day without fail. And I started feeling the change happening. I could not use the crutches initially. I started learning them, memorizing the crutches, and practicing them in front of mirror. And suddenly one day I realized I had a block. I stopped. I changed my thought, and there was no stutter. And it started happening again and again and again. And then I felt a little more to try. Then came the blessing in the form of my coach, Prathusha. She was so helpful in getting me to understand, getting me to believe that what is stuttering all about. She took away all the mental yardstick I had set for myself, which were absurd and made for me to fail always again, always again. She made new benchmarks for me, which showed me started progressing. I started improving. There was a time when I could sense that Prathusha had more confidence in my ability than I had myself in me. She just kept me from dropping out. I felt I'm getting better and I stopped. But she went away, went ahead, probably caught me by my collar and pulled me back, telling Anand, you got to practice, you got to do it. And if I'm in front of you, if I'm able to speak clearly, if I'm able to not face a block, I would give my entire credit to my coach Prathusha that she believed and I could do it. As I speak in front of you, calmly, I would remember Lee's first video on YouTube or his site where he says that stuttering came as a blessing to him. I am no different. Lee, I took up reading because I could not make friends. Over my lifetime, I have read hundreds of books and I am now building my own private library. Would you believe in 10th standard, which is the board examination in our country, where people were preparing for the board examination, I took up an ink pen. I took up a 4-line notebook from my nursery class and I started practicing improving my handwriting. I practiced improving my handwriting, thinking that if I cannot speak better, I can present my thoughts better by writing. And I improved my writing then. I am from a part of the country where Hindi is the naturally spoken language. People did not learn English much. In hostel, I decided I will speak in English and English only. If my friends choose to talk to me in English, they will talk. Even if they talk to me in Hindi, I will respond in English and English only. If they don't choose to talk to me because of that, I will not talk. My friends made fun of me. My seniors made fun of me. Even some of my sports coaches made fun of my desire to speak in English. But you know what? All that, all that fun, all that names people called me out, I could use that as energy. I could fire up myself and commit that now I am going to improve. And came a time when my seniors came asking me for help to improve their own English. I am no expert in the language, but I must say, just because of stuttering, I could have that determination to pursue that. In our school assemblies, there used to be prepared speeches where a nominated speaker would prepare a speech and come and talk to people. Sometimes, when someone had a cold feet and did not turn up at the end moment, I was called upon to give a speech impromptu. As I walked from my line to the place where I had to speak, I thought of a topic to speak, I thought of the content to speak, and I turned around and I spoke. Was I stuttering? Hell yes, I was stuttering. But the immense confidence I projected there, the way I stood tall with my legs apart and my hands in the air, talking to people in assembly, I could tell them that I was confident and they heard me. Stuttering allowed me to learn so many skills to supplement myself that I believe it came as a blessing. As I speak fluently among you, I feel I was blessed and I am blessed to have stuttering. I see a lot of my friends pursuing the journey of becoming fluent. I share some of my own experience and probably you can take something from there. I strongly believe that you should understand the science which Lee talks about. Lee has a very depth explanation of the mind training, of the ASTs, the hypnosis, the hearing yourself fluently, the not hearing this fluency. It is a science. Read something beyond what Lee has recommended and understand the science. I read the self mastery into self hypnosis, which Lee recommends. The logic he talks about is such a powerful thing that we can take it from speech and get it to any part of our life. The second thing I struggled with was practicing. I had severe challenge practicing. So I must recommend, must you find innovative ways to get practice. Get as much practice as you can, as this one thing will change the entire game for you. You will become so much better in no time and develop a ritual or a regime. I decided first hour of my morning, no matter what, is for my speech. For a month straight, no breaks, I did that. And if I was a little better, I totally dedicate to that ritual. And lastly, I would say seek help, hire mentors, hire coaches. Coaches are like a lighthouse. In such a dark environment, when we are trying to find methods to try, we're trying to find from across this dark position which way to move. Lighthouse gives us a guidance. It weeds out all the unimportant things and tells us this way is the right way. And it becomes so easy a journey for us that we feel that we will be able to do it. I have had mentors and I have been blessed to have a mentor who believed more. This is what I had to say of my speech. as I become quieter with my speech, I humbly bow down to everyone present in this meeting today, to everyone part of the SAM meeting, that it was you, your presence in the SAM meeting, that at some point of time had motivated me. Some success story you had posted, some practice video of all you have posted. I could use that to draw inspiration for myself and to push myself at that point when I thought I'll stop. And just because of your continuous presence here, I feel I was able to come up to this place. And with folded hands, I present to you my deepest gratitude to be there to support me. Namaste.